like there's a lot going on at Londonderry Village Retirement Community. There is. The people who live here are active, and they're joined by friends, relatives, members of local churches and the community who all have one thing in common: seeing to it that the people who have chosen this place to retire are taken care of. All of the people, including those who have outlived their financial resources.
There are more folks who need assistance all the time, principally because the cost of care continues to rise.
And with the quality of health care increasing, people are living longer and find themselves having exhausted their assets. What they can count on here at Londonderry Village is something called the Good Samaritan Fund.
The Good Samaritan Fund is there to assist people who have exhausted their personal incomes and funds, who can no longer pay for nursing or personal care.
Last year we paid out almost $1.8 million to residents who were short of funds.
Robert Fike is one of many friends of Londonderry Village who work year-round to help support the Good Samaritan Fund, which covers a substantial portion of that $1.8 million. The beauty of the fund is that the names of the 50 or so recipients who receive assistance from that fund are kept confidential.
Even our president doesn't know who the recipients are. It's a quiet affair between you and the accounting department. And nobody really needs to know. If somebody doesn't tell you, I'm receiving funds, you'll never know.
Keeping the fund large enough to help cover the need requires a huge year-round effort from hundreds of volunteers who coordinate a variety of fundraising events. The oldest and largest is the annual auction and chicken barbecue, held each July.
We coordinate almost 100 volunteers for the barbecue weekend, and those volunteers come from the residents and the 21 churches that support the village.
The chicken barbecue and auction actually predates the opening of the home back in the 1970s, and that it's a consistent event that raises in excess of $30,000 over a course of one weekend.
We all know how good this institution is for all our elderly residents. It's a great retirement community. The people that live here all volunteer so much and do so much. When you come and you see how much they do and all the things they have, you know you want to support it and continue that for them.
It's a lot of planning and work, but I enjoy it. And we all work together. It's like togetherness here. And I enjoy the fellowship of everyone.
It's an event for the whole community, including staff and administration, because of their commitment to providing for every one of their residents.
It's always been part of the mission of most church homes to have a fund to subsidize people, and we're very proud that since 1979, when we opened our doors, that we've never asked anybody to leave because of an inability to pay.
Residents of Londonderry Village themselves chip in, organizing a yearly estate and yard sale, which raises an incredible amount of money, nearly all of which goes to the Good Samaritan Fund.
We work for about 6 weeks before the sale, and we advertise it. This past year, we sold $79,000 in 4 days, which is a testimony to everybody pitching in and helping.
Another major event is the Kathy Snell Memorial Golf Tournament, named after a former administrator at Londonderry Village. Over 100 golfers gather for a time of golf, but also fellowship and camaraderie that comes with knowing you're supporting a good cause.
We're a community bank, so we'd like to give back to the community and give these folks the care they deserve. Once they run out of their funds, there needs to be something so they can continue with the care they are receiving.
The golf tournament typically raises over $12,000 each year. Each October, there's also the Good Samaritan Fund Dinner, held in the DiMatteo Worship Center, that attracts about 200 people, many of whom donate in excess of the ticket price. Not all of the fundraising efforts are large events. Independent living resident Ken Bayshore spends his spare time honing his woodworking skills to produce dozens of hand-carved crafts, which he sells to raise money for the Good Samaritan Fund.
The reason I do that is because my wife's in Tranquil Terrace for 9.5 years already, and I really appreciate the good care that she's getting. So what I wanted to do was do something to help to support the Good Samaritan Fund.
Another major source of funding is what's called the Buddy Society, people who commit to contributing at least $5,000 over 5 years. The 33 original charter members of the society have now blossomed to over 100.
If we didn't have the Good Samaritan Fund and we didn't have the Buddy Society supporting it, and also the Good Samaritan Fund dinner and the auction in the summertime there, I'm just not sure how management would address the issue, because it's so important that we follow the philosophy that's been established for years, and we do in fact ensure that we don't ask anybody to leave.
The Good Samaritan Fund at Londonderry Village is a cause that has widespread support, and participation is welcome at any point. The mission of Londonderry Village has always been to provide a Christian community with an exceptional place to live while offering quality health care. The Good Samaritan Fund lives out those Christian values in a setting of caring and mutual support for each and every member of that community.
I've had families literally expressing tears of joy in my office when they were assuming they were going to be asked to leave, and they were not, and they were welcome to stay for as long as the care needed to be provided. So it's a great amount of self-satisfaction to work for an organization that actually lives that mission out.
For information on how to support the Good Samaritan Fund or the mission of Londonderry Village, please contact the Development Office.